Good morning, everyone. My name is JEROS Juan, and my topic is attempts to amend or change the 1987 Constitution. If we talks about change the Constitution, it's all about constitutional reform or charter change. In short, CHA-CHA. CHA-CHA, it refers to amendments or revisions in the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, what the changes to the Constitution look like? Proposal may come in the form of amendments or revision. The two significantly differ from each other. So what is amendment? Amendment is an alteration of one or few specific and separable provisions, thus entailing a constitutional change that does not affect the whole document. An example will be changing the term limits of the president. Diba ang presidente is na 6 years. 6 years. So, kung mag-amend ka, mag-propose ka sang amend, pwede mo na siya dugangan ang term limit sa president. Dugangan or bawasan, pero hindi mo siya pwede, pero hindi siya maapektuhan ang tanan, ang whole document sa Constitution. Next is revision. On the other hand, may involve rewriting the Constitution and new or major changes that cannot be implemented without affecting the provisions of the Constitution as a whole. The most relevant example is the shift to another type of government such as federal. Diba? Ang revision is amo ni siyang baguhon mo ang Constitution or islan. Like, same tong sa constitutional authoritarianism kay Marcos. Amo siya. Ang example sa itong revise or revision. Who will draft and discuss the proposed changes? Na itatlo, Congress, acting as Constituent Assembly or CONAS. Specially elected delegates called a Constitutional Convention or CONCON. Next, and lastly is the people or People's Initiative. Congress acting as Constituent Assembly. The House of Representatives and Senate be convened to propose amendments or revisions to the Constitution. Amon sila ang mag-propose ng amends and revise the Constitution, and amo po sila ang the fastest way to amends and revise. Constitutional Convention. The Congress shall and Senate upon a vote of 2/3 of its members may call for a CONCON wherein the elected delegates will propose amendments or revisions to the Constitution. The current Constitution does not provide for method by which delegates to the CONCON are chosen. Lastly, People's Initiative. Amendments to the Constitution may be proposed by the people upon petition of at least 12% of total number of registered voters. Can only be done once every 5 years. The process is lengthy. Aman siyang lengthy kay need man sang daghan nga katao para mag-participate sa para mag-participate sa amendments of Constitution. So, in case of amendment and revision, check dara ang Congress kag ang Constitutional Convention. Check sa ang People's Initiative is check sa amendment. And X siya sa revision. Kay di ba lengthy, so dagan kayo na tao and dugay kayo ma-process ni siya nga kung mag-amend or kung mag-revise ng Constitution, dagan pa kayo sang cheche-boreche. Next is, when does an amendment or revision becomes valid? It will only be valid when ratified by a majority of the votes cast in a national referendum plebiscite. Why amend or change the 1987 Constitution? Lawyers, politicians, economists, and academics have criticized it for the following: its weak provisions on party systems, absence of a definite prohibition on political dynasties, restrictive foreign ownerships, and lack of efficiency among branches of government, among many others. So, attempts to amend or change the 1987 Constitution. The first attempt was in 1995 when the Secretary of National Security Council, Jose Almonte, drafted a constitution, but it was exposed to the media and never prospered. The second effort happened in 1997 when a group called PERMA hoped to gather signatures from voters to change the constitution through a people's initiative. Diba? Diba ang People's Initiative kung balikan ta to is di siya pwede mag-revise. Diba? Many were against this, including the Senator Marian Defensor Santiago, who brought the issue to court and won with the Supreme Court, judging that a People's Initiative cannot push through without an enabling law. Next president is the succeeding president, Joseph Ejercito Estrada, formed a study commission to investigate the issues surrounding charter change, focusing on the economic and judiciary provisions of the Constitution. This effort was also blocked by different entities. So, next president is si Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. Then, House Speaker Jose De Venecia endorsed constitutional change through a constituent assembly. This initiative was also not successful since the term of President Arroyo was mired in controversy and scandal, including the possibility of Arroyo extending her term as president, which the Constitution does not allow. May scandal man si Arroyo dati, so hindi ko na balang kung ano to siyang scandal, basta may scandal daw. Next is President Benigno Aquino. The administration of the succeeding president, Benigno Aquino, had no marked interest in charter change, except those emanating from different members of Congress, including Speaker Feliciano Balmanta Jr., who attempted to introduce amendments to the Constitution that concern economic provisions that aim towards liberalization. Last president is Duterte. Federalism in the Philippines was supported by President Duterte in the 2016 presidential elections, saying that it will evenly distribute wealth in the Philippines instead of concentrating it in Manila, the capital of the country. So, as a form of government, federalism provides a central governing authority and constituent political units constitutionally that share sovereignty. Applied to the Philippines, the country will be broken into autonomous regions. Responsibility of region: industry development, public safety, education, healthcare, transportation. Each region will also take charge of their own finances, taxation, plans for development, and laws exclusive to the area. The power of national government: handle matters of national interest such as foreign policy and defense and security, foreign trade, national taxes, and national elections, among others. So na ay advantages kag disadvantages ang federalism. Pros or advantages: each regions can tailor fit solutions to their own problems. Regions also have more power over its finances since they will handle majority of their income and will income contribute a small portion of national government. They can choose to fund their own projects without waiting for go signal from the national government. It makes regions more competitive. The disadvantages is some regions may not be ready to govern themselves or have lesser resources, which can make development uneven in the country. Issues and overlaps and jurisdiction shift to federal form of government entails cost. So, muna siya ang i-propose ni Duterte nga region. Proposed federal states. Muna siya: Northern Luzon, Central Luzon, Southern Tagalog, Metro Manila, Bicol, Mindanao, Western Visayas, Eastern Visayas, Central Visayas, Northern Mindanao, Bangsamoro, Southern Mindanao. Are we ready for federalism? The public should closely monitor the process of changing the 1987 Philippine Constitution to avoid abuses. The transition to federalism also requires the revision of the electorate to a higher level of political consciousness, abandon the populist approach. Last is Preamble. So, what does the Preamble of 1987 Philippine Constitution mean? It tells us the values, ideals, and aspirations of the Filipino people. Posterity, the blessings of independence and democracy under the rule of law and regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace to ordain and promulgate this Constitution.
So good day to each and everyone. My name is Jhon PIOS, and I will be tackling about the Article 1 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines, which is entitled as the National Territory. So it explains there in Article 1 that the Philippines includes its islands and seas. This article sets the boundaries and defines what belongs to the country, both on land and in the surrounding waters. It's a fundamental part of the Constitution that establishes the geographical limits and sovereignty of the Philippines. Good day once again to each and everyone. So let's tackle about the Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution, which is entitled as Declaration of Principles and States Policy. The Article 2 has 28 sections, and it explains there that the Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution sets out the guiding principles for the Philippine government. It includes there that the ideas like putting people first, ensuring social justice, promoting democracy, and upholding the rule of law. Essentially, it provides a roadmap for how the government should operate and what values it should prioritize.
And now let's talk about the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 3, Bill of Rights. So what is Bill of Rights? The Bill of Rights in the 1987 Philippine Constitution consists of 22 sections. These sections outline various fundamental rights and protections for Filipino citizens. So what is the aim of this article? The aim of this article is to protect and uphold the fundamental rights and freedoms of the Filipino people. It guarantees the rights to life, liberty, property, due process, equal protection, privacy, expression, religion, assembly, information, association, and just compensation, among others. It also prohibits laws that impair the obligation of contracts or that abridge the freedom of speech, of the press, or of the people to petition the government for redress of grievances. So next is Article 4, Citizenship. When we say citizenship, it is the status of being a member of a particular country, often entailing rights, responsibilities, and privileges granted by the nation's government. The aim of this article is to establish the criteria and conditions for acquiring and losing Philippine citizenship. It outlines the various modes of acquiring citizenship, such as by birth, by naturalization, or through other means. Additionally, it delineates circumstances under which citizenship may be lost or reacquired. The overarching goal is to define the parameters and processes by which individuals become and remain citizens of the Philippines.
Article 5, Suffrage. So, may aran siya dalawa ka section. So, what is suffrage? Suffrage is the right to vote in political elections. It is a fundamental aspect of democratic societies, allowing eligible individuals to participate in the electoral process and have a voice in choosing the representatives and leaders. So, amo na siya ang right sa mga Filipino people na mag-vote kung kinsa man ilang gusto nga maging representatives and leaders na makitaan nila potential to lead sa isa ka country or sa isa ka community. So, ang may right to vote is ang mga Filipino people na may age at least 18 years old and above and resided in the Philippines for at least 1 year. So, ang aim sa suffrage is to ensure that citizens or the Filipino people have the right to vote or to express kung unsa man ilang mga political preference and kung kinsa ilang makita nga may potential jud nga mag-lead sa isa ka country. Article 6, the Legislative Department. So, maara ni siya 32 ka sections. So, amo ni sila ang mga responsible for making laws. It typically consists of elected representatives who debate, propose, and vote on legislation that affects the country or region to serve. So, amo ni sila ng mga tao na na-elect na, and sila ang responsible sa paggawa ng mga laws and mag-propose. So, the Congress of the Philippines consists of Senate and House of Representatives. So, sino ang qualified na maging Senate? So, must be a natural-born citizen of the Philippines, at least 35 years old and above. The term of office of the senator should be 6 years and commence. So, a senator must be a resident of the Philippines for at least 2 years. So, ano nga ba ang ginagawa ng mga Senate? So, they introduce, debate, and pass legislation, and one of their main tasks is to consider the bills approved by the House of Representatives. So, amo ni ang ilang mga ginahimo, sila ang gahimo sang mga laws, naga-debate, and naga-pass sa kung unsa man ilang ginapa-implement. So, next is the representatives. So, qualified ka nga maging representative if you are a natural-born citizen of the Philippines, at least 25 years of age, must be a registered voter in the district in which he shall be elected. So, ang two main duties pud sa representatives is sila ang naga-make sang law and examine the work of the government. So together, they form the backbone of the representatives' democracy. Sila ang naga-create ng laws, gina-represent nila ang mga constituents, and they are the ones who are accountable or may pananagutan sa pamahalaan.
Article 7 of the Philippine Constitution deals with the executive branch of the government. It contains a total of 22 sections that outline the role, powers, and duties of the President of the Philippines, Vice President, Cabinet members, and other officials of the executive branch. The first section of article describes the qualifications, terms of office, and election process for the President and Vice President, as well as their specific powers, responsibilities, which include serving as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, appointing executive officials, and submitting the national budget to Congress. It also explained the impeachment process for the President and Vice President along with their line of succession. One of the importance of Article 7 lies in its crucial role in establishing powers, functions, and limitation of the executive authority in the Philippines. It ensures the separation of power among the three branches of government, which is the executive, legislative, and judiciary, which is fundamental to maintaining a system of checks and balances in democratic nations. This article also established the mechanism for impeachment of the President and Vice President, addressing accountability and ensuring transparency in the executive branch. Overall, Article 7 serves to maintain stability and efficiency in governance and helps protect the rights and welfare of the Philippine citizens. It plays a vital role in fostering democratic principles, promoting good governance, and upholding the rule of law in the country. Article 8, the Judicial Department. It established and organized the judicial branch of the Philippine government and outlined its structure, powers, and functions. Specifically, it covers the Supreme Court, lower courts, qualification and tenure of judges, and other related matters. One of the importance of this article lies in its recognition of the judicial branch as a co-equal branch of government, ensuring the checks and balances necessary for a well-functioning democracy. It established the framework for the judiciary to resolve actual controversies, interpret laws, and protect the rights and liberties of individuals. The articles ensures the independence of judges and outlines the procedure for their appointment and removal. Additionally, it provides for the establishment of lower courts to ensure accessibility and efficiency in administering justice at different levels.
The Article 9 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution is entitled the Constitutional Commissions. It outlines the three independent constitutional commissions. First, the Civil Service Commission. Second, the Commission on Election. Third, the Commission on Audit. The Civil Service Commission is charged with the responsibility of overseeing the integrity, discipline, and efficiency of civil servants in the Philippines. The Commission on Election is tasked with ensuring free, honest, and credible election. The Commission on Audit is responsible for auditing government accounts and ensuring accountability in the use of public funds. The importance of Article 9 lies in the fact that it ensures the independence and impartiality of these constitutional commissions, which are essential components of Philippine democratic governance. The constitutional commissions serve as a check on exercise of executive and legislative power, ensuring that these bodies are held accountable and transparent in their operations. The article provides a framework for the effective functioning of these commissions, which is necessary for the promotion of the public interest and rule of law in the country. Article 10. The Local Government. It governs the organization, powers, and function of local government units or LGUs in the country. Section 1 highlights the principle of local autonomy, stating that LGUs shall have the power to govern themselves and exercise their powers and function in accordance with the Constitution and the law. Section 2 outlines the specific powers and authorities granted to LGUs, including the power to create their own sources of revenue, make investments, and participate in governance. Section 3 emphasize the supervision of LGUs by the President to ensure their proper functioning. Article 10 is crucial as it provides the legal framework for the devolution of various responsibilities from the national government to LGUs. It allows LGUs to have more control over their jurisdictions, enabling them to address local concerns and implement local policies effectively. The principle of local autonomy promotes decentralization, empowering communities to participate in decision-making processes and tailor policies to their specific needs. This article also threatens their democratic governance by fostering a system of checks and balances between the central government and LGUs, ensuring that powers and responsibilities are balanced and properly exercised.
Philippine Constitution Article 11, which also known as Accountability of the Public Officers, states that public office is the right, authority, and duty created and conferred by law, by which a given period either fixed by law or enduring at the pleasure of the appointing power. So there is a nature of public office. First is public trust, means public office position should be of rendering service to the public. Second is public office is not a property, means that the holder of the office should not claim that he has the full right and he owns his position. Third is public office is not a contract, means that everyone being removed from the office should not blame the government for any damages, rather he sue after being removed. So there are methods of national inquest into the conduct of public men, which they called impeachment. So here, officials to be removed by the impeachment is President and Vice President, members of the Supreme Court, members of the Constitutional Commission, and the Ombudsman. So the grounds for impeachment is culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, betrayal of the public trust, and other higher crimes. So the steps on the impeachment trial is first, filing of an impeachment complaint from the House of Representatives. Second is a required vote, at least one of the member of House. Third is impeachment trial in the Senate. Fourth is the at least two vote of the senators to decide the fate of the one who being impeached. The penalty in impeachment case is removal to the office and disqualification to hold any office in the Republic of the Philippines. So, there are office of the special prosecutor, which is known as the ombudsman, or also known as Tanod Bayan. They serve as the watchdog of the government office and agencies. So the power of ombudsman here is to investigate and prosecute. So the composition of the ombudsman is one overall deputy ombudsman. Second is one deputy ombudsman for the three major islands in the Philippines, which is Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Then third is the one deputy ombudsman on the AFP and law enforcing agency. So the ombudsman personnel, appointment, and terms of office. First is a list of at least 6 candidates should be passed by the Judicial and Bar Council to the President. Confirmation of the Commission on Appointment is not needed. Second is qualification. The qualification is natural-born citizen of the Philippines, must be 40 years old on the time of their appointment, and must be member of Philippine Bar, must have a recognized probity and independence, and third is term of office, 7 years without reappointment in the ombudsman. So that's all for the Article 11. So the Philippine Constitution, Article 12, which is also known as the national economy and patrimony. The goal of the national economy are a more equitable distribution of opportunities, income, and wealth, a sustained increase in the amount of goods and services produced by the nation for the benefit of the people, and an expanding productivity as the key to raising the quality of life for all, especially the underprivileged. The state shall promote industrialization and full employment based on sound agricultural development and agrarian reform through industries that make full and efficient use of human and natural resources and which are competitive in both domestic and foreign markets. However, the state shall protect Filipino enterprises against unfair foreign competition and trade practices.
Article 13, or also known as Social Justice and Human Rights, states that the Congress shall give highest priority to the enactment of measures that protect and enhance the right of all the people to human dignity, reduce social, economic, and political inequalities, and remove cultural inequities by equitably diffusing wealth and political power for the common good. Article 14. Education, Science, and Technology, Arts, Culture, and Sports. The states must provide quality education for all and does everything to reach out the farthest community to educate each citizen of the country for free as much as possible.
Article 15 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, titled The Family, outlines principles and rights related to family life. It recognizes the Filipino family as the foundation of the nation, highlighting the importance of marriage as an inviolable social institution. The state is mandated to protect the right to establish a family according to the religious belief and responsible parenthood. Additionally, the article emphasizes the right of children to care, nutrition, and protection from various forms of harm. It also addresses the family's right to a living wage and income, as well as their participation in the planning and implementation of policies that affect them. Article 16 of the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, titled General Provisions, encompasses various aspects such as the national flag, anthem, language, seal, and territory. It declares Filipino as the national language and English as a co-official language. The article addresses the national seal, coat of arms, and establishes the Constitution as the supreme law of the land. It emphasizes the sovereignty of the people and the commitment to social justice.
Good day, everyone. We invite you to embark on a journey of knowledge as we explore the remarkable sections of Articles 17 and 18 in the 1987 Philippine Constitution, showcasing the industrious spirit that lies at the heart of our nation. First is Article 17 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines is entitled Amendments or Revisions. It outlines the procedures and requirements for amending or revising the Constitution itself. The provisions of Article 17 is aimed to ensure that any changes made to the Constitution are done deliberate and democratic manner with adequate public participation and oversight. Okay, ang mga artikulong ito ay naglalayong tiyakin ang anumang pagbabagong ginawa ng isang konstitusyon ay dapat na sinadyang ginawa sa isang demokratikong paraan. Next is Article 18 of the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines is entitled Transitory Provisions. The first local election shall be held on the date to be determined by the President, which may be simultaneous with the election of the members of the Congress. Ipinapahayag dito na dapat ang unang halalan ay isinagawa sa petsa na itinakda ng isang Pangulo na dapat kasabay ang mga kongreso at dapat itong isama sa halalan ng mga konseyo sa munisipyo. Yun lang at maraming salamat sa pakikinig.